Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, COVID numbers decreased by 50%, the latest from health officials. Testing to begin for Atlantis employees on Monday. Plus, national examination results could be ready before Christmas.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thank you for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Topping news tonight, over the past month, the number of new COVID-19 cases has decreased by 50% according to data presented by the Ministry of Health today. However, there has been a decrease in testing, which, according to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Pearl McMillan, is a result of less cases and less contacts.
From a national perspective, there have been a 50% decrease in new COVID-19 cases between October 10 and November 5th.
According to health officials, restrictive measures put in place to help curb the spread of COVID-19 in the country, particularly in New Providence, are working. Of the 6,916 confirmed cases, 1,835 are considered active. 34 cases were confirmed yesterday, with 14 on New Providence, 13 on Grand Bahama, 5 on Eleuthera, and 1 on Bimini. But as numbers drop, so does the amount of testing. Health officials were asked whether the drop in new cases can be celebrated if there is less testing.
We have had a challenge with procuring some of the reagents necessary for the maintenance of one of the instruments used for our testing. So we have 2 sets of molecular tests that are performed at the Princess Margaret Hospital. One was donated by PAHO, and that would be the Gene Expert. The other is another molecular test. So that test, we've experienced some challenges with procuring the maintenance reagents, and they are expected to come in at this time because of that challenge of procuring it, which is an international challenge.
But there was also a concern at Princess Margaret Hospital and whether an issue there caused a halt in testing or getting COVID-19 results. More men in the Bahamas have died from the virus than women. There has been an average of 1 COVID death per day since the first case was recorded in the country back in March. Health officials continue to see more and more cases on the island of Eleuthera, which is the only family island aside from Abaco and Grand Bahama with a triple-digit number of cases. They're now encouraging tighter restrictions for that island.
Another observation was that the local bars seemed to be popular hangout spots, and a number of cases were linked to these bars. Additionally, the current increase in cases on Eleuthera have linkages to a funeral, which had occurred 2 weeks ago.
Health officials remain concerned about Grand Bahama as well. Today would have been day 5 for those who would have entered the country when tourism reopened on November 1st, meaning those guests and locals would have had to receive their follow-up antigen tests today. However, Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. LaDon Brennan said at the moment they can't give a status just yet.
We don't have those numbers today, but as soon as we're able to get all of the updates for those numbers, as it would have only been yesterday when it started, we would be able to provide an update in our next press conference.
COVID-19 testing for Atlantis employees being brought back for the beginning of the resort's phased reopening will begin on Monday. In a letter to employees today, the resort's Human Resources Department said beginning Monday, all team members must take a mandatory self-screening test and a rapid antigen test, which will be administered by Doctors Hospital and is free of charge to Atlantis employees. Beginning Monday, November 16th, to be permitted on property, employees must pass daily self-screening and obtain a negative rapid antigen test weekly. Employees are required to present their negative test results daily, as well as wear a face mask that covers their mouth and nose. Atlantis is scheduled to reopen on December 1st in a bubble whereby guests will be tested prior to arrival. In other news, a 19-year-old man is in custody tonight in connection with the stabbing death of a 20-year-old man who died in hospital on Thursday following an incident in a Haitian village off Joe Farrington Road. Jared Hicks has the story.
Someone come tell me and my son died outside.
The man who was stabbed to death on Wednesday is 20-year-old Robinson Paul, according to his grieving family.
I feel weak. I fallen down. I see so much blood coming from my son.
According to police, it was around 10 a.m. on Thursday when a group of men were in a home off Joe Farrington Road. Officers say a man known to the men entered the home and stabbed Paul multiple times. He was transported to hospital where he later died. Now, we visited the village off Joe Farrington Road where Paul's family say he was killed. Bystanders tell us that the incident took place underneath that big tree. After he was stabbed, Paul ran home looking for help.
I said, someone should do, he can't even talk to me no more. I said, who's going to you?
The victim's father, 45-year-old Maxine Paul, says his son ran to him after he was attacked. He struggled to find somebody to take his son to the hospital. He says he and his son were getting close to each other because his son wanted to live with him in the Haitian village.
They're nice person to me.
We also spoke to his mother, Jessula Paul, at her home just a minute away on the main Joe Farrington Road. She says the two had drifted apart as her son navigated the ups and downs of young adulthood. She says the last time she saw or spoke to her son was Saturday.
I close with Wobby when he's small because I love Wobby so much.
Paul's family say he worked in construction on and off. His mother and father were worried about some of the friends he kept. She says she did her best to instill strong values in him.
Respect everybody because you grow up in the church.
Police have a 19-year-old man in custody assisting with their investigation. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
2 Grand Bahama men appeared in the magistrate's court on that island today, charged with illegally dumping oil. Julian Gray has the story.
Images of this site were widely shared in the Grand Bahama community as residents of East Grand Bahama were outraged at the illegal oil dumping. Well, today, the alleged culprits had their day in court. 25-year-old Richard Antonio Levy Jr. in the light blue shirt and 26-year-old Morrison Nelson in the green shirt were arraigned before Magistrate Charlton Smith on one count of discharging a hazardous substance in accordance with the Environmental Planning and Protection Act 2019. There were several industrial-sized bags of oil dumped near Barberry Beach. The oil, which police said may have been there for some time, was discovered nearly 2 weeks ago.
That's how deep it's going under. Okay. So we'll have to take out all of this, try to get to it before it damages the water table.
In court today, both men pleaded not guilty. They were granted bail in the amount of $4,000 with one surety. The matter was adjourned to the 5th of February 2021 when they're expected to return to court for trial. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Students who sat the 2020 BJC and BGCSE examinations could receive those results in a few weeks. Jerry Jabane has more.
The Minister of Education providing several updates regarding his ministry as he touts that national examination results will be out before Christmas, as well as the pace of repairs to public schools that he says is moving far too slow for his liking.
Results will be out by Christmas. That's the intention. I see nothing that potentially could disrupt that. Obviously, I have no control over certain events like man-made events, hurricanes or any other disasters that may occur.
It could be the last time national exams were held in person, according to the minister, who said Cambridge is currently assessing moving exams to a virtual platform.
We have got to look at the possibility of online examinations. That is a reality that we have to confront, and that discussion is ongoing, not only with this Bahamas, but countries around the world that also are provided with services by Cambridge. So that is an extraordinarily very important development that necessarily must be confronted and recognized and accepted and understood so that we could come to a quick resolution, because if that is the case, then naturally our systems have got to be adjusted. Certainly from a security standpoint, there have to be a new type of exam essentially to ensure that there isn't a possibility of cheating.
The on-again and off-again status of the national exams, as well as preparations for virtual schooling, placed a strain on the relationship between the Ministry of Education and the Bahamas Teachers Union. However, Lloyd said those issues have been resolved.
There might be a disagreement here, doesn't in fact injure the nature of the relationship. There's a respectful relationship between all of us in the educational enterprise, and there still must be. I mean, that's just the nature of life. And whenever anything of untoward occurs, then you address it. man, you address it, you know. I mean, we're adults, man, you know, we ain't no children.
The education minister also expressed his disappointment with the pace of ongoing school repairs. Lloyd said he is anxious to get students back to face-to-face learning, but those delayed repairs could hinder the process.
I'm not pleased. Thank God that we have most of our repairs in these islands where there's virtual school, but I'm not pleased. I want us to move a little more quickly, and I understand the impediments to that, but to say I'm pleased, no, I'm not pleased. We're moving, but I'm not pleased.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Georgie O'Bain.
More news on the way, but here's a first look at weather with meteorologist Greg Thompson as officials keep an eye on Ada. What can you tell us about this weather system, Greg?
Thanks, Kyle. I'm meteorologist Greg Thompson with your first look at weather. Tonight, around the area, conditions are pretty nice on the outside. Temperatures in the mid to low 80s. 82 is our current temperature. The breeze is still kicking up out there. East winds at 60 knots. Feels like temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit. On our satellite across the islands, high pressure remains in charge just to the north. That's keeping the windy conditions, but of course all eyes are now into the Western Caribbean, where tropical depression Ada is getting its act together, expected to move towards our area. That's your first look at weather. We'll talk more about Ada in a second look at weather.
Still to come, will COVID unemployment assistance be extended into 2021? Plus, a mother shares what it's like to raise an autistic child. Stay tuned.
Journey TV presents the most open, honest, and revealing life stories. These stories of survival and strength will inspire you because there is freedom and healing in every story. Join me and my guest every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and Sunday at 5:30 p.m. during the month of August on RTV channel 212 for real-life conversations. Journey TV, we share life's truths.
You're watching Our News. Welcome back. With the extension of the government's unemployment assistance program set to expire at the end of the year, Minister of Public Service and National Insurance Benzo Rolle says over the next few weeks, the government will have to decide whether it will be extended into 2021. Jasmine Brown has more.
The Public Service Minister says with more than $80 million of unbudgeted funds already poured into the program, it has become a situation where the government has had to take it a few months at a time. He was asked if the minister's administration had any plans to extend the program as the pandemic continues to rage on and thousands of people remain out of work.
We've projected that this program is going to run until December, and sometime next month we will make an assessment and an evaluation as to where we are and what we need to do. But right now it's going through to December.
Earlier this year, the government announced it would extend its unemployment extension program, which was set to expire September, another 13 weeks, taking the program through December. However, Rolle said the weekly payments would be further reduced from $100 to $150. The government has been roundly criticized in some quarters over that reduction, but Rolle says the government continues to assist the 30,000 Bahamians who still benefit from the program.
We're saying, listen, we tried our best. We're doing the best we can. We started at $200 a week, which is almost comparable to minimum wage. It has been reduced because, again, like I said, it's causing the government $80 million plus on the NIB side. And then when you throw in the food assistance program, which was $1 million a week, roughly, those are all assistance that are provided through the various government agencies.
He added that the government has already spent tens of millions of dollars in unbudgeted money to fund the programs.
We're doing our best to make sure that there's some bread on the table for individuals. We're trying to, as we slowly open the economy, provide them some assistance so that when they get back to work, there would not be this tremendous loss in their homes and in their families.
Last month, Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest confirmed that the continuation of the program will cost the government $45 million. NIB and the government have paid out in excess of $150 million in unemployment benefits and assistance since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in the Bahamas. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The mother of an autistic 7-year-old is opening up about the challenges she faces raising a special needs child. Jared Higgs has her story.
In one word to describe him, he's just so courageous.
Donnell Major Fox knows what it's like to make sacrifices for her family.
It has been extremely challenging.
Major Fox's 7-year-old son is autistic, and in order to get him better help, she moved up to New Jersey. While there, the teacher got her master's degree in special education. Meanwhile, her son was able to access New Jersey's public school special education program.
It's amazing here. Basically, the teachers, when they write a lesson plan, the lesson plan is catered towards the special needs students in their classroom.
It's a lot different than the Bahamas, where special education in public schools is extremely limited. Major Fox is one of the lucky parents. She says her son has made huge strides while living in the United States. Before the move, he had major food aversions and didn't have conversations even though he could read.
Within months of us arriving here, AJ began to speak in phrases and sentences.
His palate also expanded and he started eating more food. The proud mother says she's on the cusp of becoming a behavior analyst. The field is in high demand worldwide, but she says she wants to help her country despite the struggles ahead.
I would like to be able to train teachers how to spot children in their classroom environment who may be having challenges due to developmental delays or learning disabilities.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Still to come, new tablets for TG Glover students. Plus, a look at sports. Stay tuned.
Every day, these men and women put their lives on the line in the most advanced tactical combat units available. They work in areas of conflict and struggle, providing law enforcement and life-saving exercises. They are on the front lines.
Students at TG Glover Primary School receiving a much-needed donation in the era of online learning. CEO of United Sanitation Services, Henry Dean, donated 80 tablets and MiFi boxes to the school. Dean, who has lived in the area for over 50 years, says he owes it to the students.
TG Glover, so it's personal, it's profound to us because we live there, we owe them. But I believe that a good number of the students that attend TG Glover come from the surrounding area. And it will be, I think, foolish of us, my company and my family, not to pay attention to what's next door to me.
School Principal Shaniqua Curry thanked Dean on behalf of the students and teachers and says the donation will go a long way.
This week, our numbers, Minister, is going to increase with how many children are on. We ended last week at 59%, sir, and we know once we start piling those out, our numbers are going to shoot to where we want it to be, and that's at 100%. And so, sir, we are most thankful. Our teachers, in their absence, most of them are working remotely from home. A couple are gathered around here. We'd like to say thank you so much, sir.
And that's a look at news. Marcellus Hall has the latest in sports after this.
Stay connected to the things and people you love, no matter what. Watch your favorite shows on TV, enjoy RevGo Play and HBO Go free. Experience lightning-fast internet speeds, unlimited local and international calling, free virtual number and free RevGo voice app, all still only $99. Call 601-8992 or email trio@cablebahamas.com to sign up.
In sports, the Green Bay Packers dominated in Thursday Night Football, and a look ahead at your weekend schedule. Marcellus Hall reports.
Well, last night signaling the start of week number 9 of the NFL season, an NFC showdown, if you will, between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. Turned out more of a showdown for one team than the other. Let's take a look. 49ers Green Bay on a Thursday night. This one not much of a contest as Aaron Rodgers and wide receiver Devontae Adams having their way with the Niners defense. Started with a 36-yard connection in the corner of the end zone. That puts Green Bay up 7-0. Rodgers then connecting with tight end Mercedes Lewis. That makes it 14-3. Still in the second quarter, Rodgers with a deep bomb to wide receiver, a wide open Marquez Scantling. That makes it 21-3 at the half. Third quarter, more from Rodgers as he again finds Scantling in the end zone. Packers up 31-3 going into the fourth. Fourth quarter, Mason Crosby, he nails a 53-yard field goal. That makes it 34-3. Niners would score a couple of touchdowns late, but not nearly enough. Packers win 34-17. Aaron Rodgers, 305 yards passing and 4 touchdowns on the day. Adams finished up with 10 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. Taking a quick look now at your Week 9 schedule as Sunday rolls around. As we saw, one team brought a knife to a gunfight. Didn't work out so well for them. Of course, a lot more activities coming up this weekend as the NFL season continues. We'll give you all the details on that and more coming up for you on Monday. Reporting for Our News, I'm Marcellus Hall.
And that's a look at news. We throw it back to meteorologist Greg Thompson for the extended weather forecast.
Thanks again, Kyle. In our second look at weather, we take a look at Ada, which is out there in the Western Caribbean, trying to get its act together. Showers and thunderstorms starting to intensify with the system. We expect the system to get its act together as it continues to move towards the north. Track of the system will be moving across the Western Caribbean over the next 24 hours and then moving up towards the Cuba area. Warmer waters will help the system to intensify. The Department of Meteorology now issuing alerts on the system for portions of the Bahamas, the Northwest Bahamas, as well as the Central Bahamas. We're asking all residents to continue to monitor the system. Our track taking the system up towards the north, moving towards the Cayman Islands by tomorrow, and then moving across Cuba by Sunday morning, just to the west of the Bahamas over the Great Bahama Bank, the Key Sal area, sometime on Sunday afternoon. Notice the cone of concern now outside the Bahamas, but we do have tropical storm force winds moving into the area. That is indicated by the yellow colors that you see out there on the map. Your boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow, we're asking you boaters to remain in port. The winds will be out of the east to southeast at 20 to 30 knots, seas running 8 to 12 feet, but they will be higher as the system approaches us. Your high tide will be at 11:41 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Wednesday. That's a look at our weather. Have a safe night and a great weekend, everyone.
And now your Cable Bahamas Business Solutions Market Recap takes a look at today's markets.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions, the experts for all your business needs. This has been your Financial Market Minute. Cable Bahamas Business Solutions, giving you trusted solutions that work for you and your business.
Thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Kyle Joaquin. Remember, you can catch Our News on the Go with the Go Play app. Have a good Friday evening, Bahamas.